everyone. My name's Dee and I'm here with Tracey.
Hello.
And we are going to guide you through a little journey in celebration of full moon in Aries. So this one I personally am super excited about because Aries is my sun sign. So all of these things sort of ring true to me and feel very real to me.
This is your super full moon day, isn't it? This is your time.
Yeah, this is where I am more me than I've ever been. Yeah, so we're going to talk you through what full moon in Aries might mean for you, what are good activities and questions to ask yourself. Tracey's going to guide you through an amazing journaling exercise as well. But for now, in prep, I just want to let you know a few things before we get started so that you can make the most of this session. First of all, make sure you've got about an hour to yourself where you won't be disturbed, where you're nice and comfy, blanket up, get yourself some nice hot tea or cocoa or coffee, whatever it is that you like, a nice little cocktail if you prefer. No judgment here, huh, Tracey?
No.
And I'm going to talk you through the crystals that are great for this time, as well as the aromas, so that if you want to have them around you or use them during the session, you can do that. We call them aromas because when we're talking about them, you might use them in different ways. You might get a bouquet of flowers, or you might use them in cooking, or you might use them in the herbal teas or essential oils, candles, your bath melts, etc. So jasmine is a great one for now. Black pepper, which is one that I'm falling more and more in love with because I'm using it more and mixing it with more different things. But I love
What do you mix it with, Dee? Because I'd imagine is it quite a base notey one?
Yeah, it's very base notey. You have to buy like a good one, like with a lot of oils. You know, you can buy the cheapy ones and they smell all right, but they can smell a bit bathroom air freshener.
Yeah.
It smells delicious. And I mix it with either like something florally.
So like your jasmine.
Yeah, exactly. That I've never mixed those two, but that sounds like it'd be delicious. I also like to mix it with citrus smells. So grapefruit. Or wild orange or something. So jasmine, black pepper, frankincense, which is the king of all oils, good for everything. Again, a bit of a base notey one that you can use on its own or mix it with others. Pine, which I really like at this time of the year because it's kind of turning into autumny.
Yeah, it's weather. Like almost Christmassy smell as well, isn't it? It reminds me of Christmas trees. Yeah.
And pettigrain, again, is a bit of a base notey one, but a lighter scent. But also goes really well with floral and citrus and everything. So those are the aromas: jasmine, black pepper, frankincense, pine, pettigrain. So carnelian, sunstone, garnet, those are the crystals, the fiery red colors, because Aries is a fire sign. But again, just please go for whichever ones you feel attracted to if crystals are your thing. I'm going to hand you over to Tracey to start our guided journaling session.
Hi, thanks, Dee. Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to Full Moon in Aries. I have been thinking about this full moon and the energy of Aries and how we can do a bit of meditation and journaling through it. Obviously, for those of you that have listened to our podcast before will know a little bit about full moon. It's all to do with taking a step, not back, but just a pause, gratitude, reflecting, and using that moon's energy to think about what you've achieved. However, team that up with Aries, like Dee knows because it's her sun sign. Aries is a fire sign. It's all about being courageous, moving forward. You're very motivated. You're very impulsive, very energetic. Hence why we've got the stones, carnelian and sunstone and garnet. You know, they're very fiery stones. They're very warming stones, motivating. So if you put all of that energy and then team it up with full moon where we're telling you to stop, it can sometimes be a little bit tricky. You need to use this time to pause. And for those of you that are in the fire signs, it may be a little bit hard to just take that sacred pause to reflect. So instead of a meditation today, I want us to use this energy to try and pause, to try and see how amazing we've done, all of the stuff that we've achieved so far. And so we can journal through and just take a step back, because we all know how we feel when we've got that to-do list. How great does it feel when we look at all the stuff we've ticked off, right? Like, it relaxes us a little bit. I hope you're all ready. Like Dee said, grab your crystals, grab your aromas. Importantly, grab your journal. find a place now that's really quiet, there's no distractions, away from your computer and your phone. And I'm going to guide you through a very relaxing journal exercise where we can try and reflect on all the amazing things that we've done so far and how great we are, right? So, first of all, just want you to take a seat, maybe on the floor, maybe in your comfy chair. If you're like me or Dee today, you might need a blanket or a comfy top, comfy yoga pants, a cushion, something that makes you feel safe and comfortable, relaxed and warm, and away from distraction. And we're just going to use a minute or two just to take what I call a sacred pause. We talk about sacred space, but pauses are important because up until this point, you've probably been listening to us. You may be at the end of your busy working day. So let's just take a few deep breaths to try and let go and relax into our journaling exercise. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as we let our body relax and focus on our breathing. If those shoulders are hunched, give them a wiggle. Relax your back. Feel your body for any areas of tense or strains or where you're hunched or you're feeling tension. Just try and let go into your comfy, relaxed position as we breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth and let go. Okay, and when you're ready, I want you to grab your journal, open it to a nice new fresh page. Fresh page, new beginnings. As we go through this exercise and hopefully have some insight into all of our goals and what we've achieved. So first of all, I want you to think about your day today. So I'd like you to write down 3 things that you've achieved today. Now you may be listening to this first thing in the morning, pre-work, but you could still hopefully find 3 things that you've done so far. Perhaps it's getting up on time, making an amazing breakfast. Maybe you've found an amazing outfit to wear. Or for those of you that have finished your working day and are now enjoying the rise of the full moon, you've probably got a lot to rewind and think about what you've done today. And it might not even be work. It could be household. It could be friends. It could be yourself. Maybe you practice some self-care. Write down 3 things that you have achieved today. And they could be small things as well. I'm not talking about world-changing things. It may just be that you've ticked something off your to-do list. It may be that you've just done your self-care today. It may be just that you've got through the day. Whatever you feel you've done today, please write down your 3 things. And now I want us to take a moment to rewind. We've been through our day to yesterday. We woke up, got ready, went to work, went to school, went for a walk, whatever we did. Guide yourself through your day yesterday as best you can. If you're anything like me, you may struggle to remember, but don't be hard on yourself. Just note down 3 key things that you achieved yesterday. They might be even similar to what you've achieved today. They might be the same. Maybe you're figuring a pattern here. You're awesome at finding an amazing outfits to wear, or you're amazing at completing your to-do lists, or you cooked another amazing meal yesterday. These are really positive things that you have achieved on your daily day-to-days. Okay, so hopefully I've given you enough time to write down your 3 things for yesterday. Now we're going to really rewind. And don't worry, I'm not expecting everyone to have a photographic memory of everything they did day in, day out. I want us to go back to last week and write down one goal that you accomplished last week. Now, I've changed my wording slightly from things, i.e. we were just talking about day-to-day things of getting dressed in great outfits, cooking meals, completing to-do lists. This is a goal. This is something quite significant that you accomplished last week. So it's bigger than a thing. It's the one thing that stood out to you last week that you managed to do. What comes to mind? Did you throw an amazing party? Did you complete a project that's been going for a long time? Did you start something new that you've been aiming to do for a long time? Did you see someone that you haven't seen for a long time that you finally managed to both of you coordinate and meet up? One significant goal that you accomplished last week. Okay, so hopefully you're getting a taste of all this journaling. Hopefully you've got some really lovely notes down now of things you've achieved, goals that you've achieved, very recent goals as well. These aren't long-term ones. For those of you that know the moon cycle, you know that we did a circle for new moon, the beginning of the cycle, where we asked you to write down your goals, your aims, and everything that you wanted to do. Perhaps some of you do this already anyway at the beginning of the month rather than the lunar cycle. But I want you to now write down any of your goals that you've achieved, that your to-do list, your goals, your monthly goals, anything that you have ticked off recently. I've written here your new moon goals because, like I say, for those of you 2 weeks ago, you would have written goals or intentions down. Are there any, or perhaps significantly one, I'm not asking you to do a big list here, that you have achieved or done? So for me, my new moon goals are always kind of business related, to move my business forward. And I can think of a few that I did in my business and work practice that I've ticked off in the 2 weeks. For some of you, it may be personal goals, it may be home goals, it may be, like I say, work, social. Are there any new moon goals up until this point that you have completed? Have a little think. Or if you're anything like Dee, you've probably got your new moon goals written down somewhere so you can see what you've ticked off, super organised. But I keep them in my head, I'm not that organised. But yeah, write down anything that you've achieved this month or this lunar cycle that you've ticked off. Okay, hopefully you found something. Now we're really moving forward and we're looking at the bigger picture. I want us to have a think, going from January, what have we achieved this year? And hopefully you'll see a pattern here, like your daily goals are going to be smaller day-to-day things. Your weekly goals, maybe there's something outstanding from the week. Monthly, it gets bigger and bigger, and hopefully now we're on a yearly goal. you're going to see a list of really significant changes that you've made this year. So it may not just be completing tasks in your job, it may be changing job. It may not be just completing small household tasks, it may be buying new furniture, moving house. What have you achieved this year? So at the end of it, you can look back and see significant changes to carry forward into your next year. Have you met a new partner? Have you made new friends? Have you moved? Have you gone on a significant life-changing holiday? And again, it can be one significant thing, or it can be a list. I'm not giving you a number of how many you need to write down here. I don't want you to feel that you have to write down 5 when you don't have 5, but equally, if you have more than one, feel free to write down a massive list. Perhaps you've had an amazing year so far with lots of changes. And these don't need to be physical changes either. They can be mental changes, emotional changes. Perhaps you've had some realizations. Perhaps you've made some self-care changes. Perhaps you've had a spiritual awakening or had some significant signs happen in your life. Please make note of anything that you have achieved or anything important to this date that's happened this year. Okay, hopefully that's given you a lot of time to write down your big list of all the amazing things you've achieved. I'm going to move on a little bit now from things that we've done and achieved to a little bit of self-reflection, which is what full moon is always about. For some of you, this may be tricky. For some of you, this might be easier than writing your list of achievements. So we're switching it a little. I want you to write down, and I've given you a number here of 3 things you are grateful for. And if you can think of more than 3, please feel free to write them down. But I'd like you to write down at least 3 things, significant things that you are grateful for in your life. It may be a person. It may be where you live. It may be something to do with yourself. It may be financial security. It may be your job. It may be your family and your friends, pets. 3 things that you would like to give thanks for. And finally, the last one is, I'm saving the best till last, one that I struggle with, and I'm sure a few of you will. Please use honesty here. No one's going to see it but you. You don't have to share this. 3 words to describe yourself. Always a tricky one. We've discussed how you see yourself is very different to how others see you. It's a good exercise to actually ask other people to do this. Me and Dee did it. 3 words that you see yourself when you look in the mirror, or perhaps reading over all of the other bits that you've just written. How would you describe yourself in 3 words if you had to summarize you? And you don't need to limit this to just soul or conscious or personality. This can be physical as well. If you feel you're beautiful, if you feel that you glow, if it's a physical thing that you want to describe that you're proud of, positive affirmations, 3 really positive, sorry, I should have said positive. Please don't use negative things to describe yourself, but 3 words to describe yourself. If you had to share with others so they got a taster of you, what would you use? If you're struggling here, perhaps have a look at all your different signs, your sun sign. Is there any keywords there that could help? Or your moon sign? Are you brave? Are you shy? Are you funny? Are you clever? Okay, perfect. Hopefully that wasn't too difficult for everyone. And now, gathering all of what we've just journaled and all that we've just thought about, our goals, what we've achieved, who we are, what we're grateful for, all of those things that full moon wants us to do, I want us to write a little affirmation for ourselves. Now, perhaps you have something in mind that has come already from writing these things. Perhaps you have a sentence in mind that will be a beautiful affirmation for you to pin on your notice board or your desktop. But for those of you like me who struggles and put on pressure as well, told to think of something on the spot, here's an idea for you. I want you to write this sentence down. I am blank, leave a space. I have blank, leave a space. And I can blank, leave a space. So that's I am, leave a space. I have, leave a space. And I can, leave a space. So in the first space, you have I am, and I'd like you to choose one of your words you've used to describe yourself. Was it clever, brave, beautiful, bold, ambitious? Or perhaps you can think of a new word that summarises all the 3, if you really want to go further along, summarises all the 3 words that you put together. Maybe there's a pattern there. I am, what did you write down? And the next space is I have. And I want you to have a think or write down one of the words that you put in the 3 things that you're grateful for. So I have, and what were you grateful for? Or again, is there a summary? Is there a theme? Is there a pattern in these words that you can see you're giving thanks for a certain theme or taster? What do you have? Okay, and finally, I can. You've written down your daily things that you've achieved, goals that you've accomplished in the week, goals or things that you've done in the month, and things that you've achieved throughout the year. Have a little read of that. I'm going to give you a little bit longer now to see how amazing you are and everything that you've accomplished and everything you've done and everything you do and continue to do on a daily basis. Have a little look and then fill in what can you do. So we have the I am, which is your sense of self. I have all the things you're grateful for. But now have a little read and see what can you do and fill in that blank. I'm going to give you a minute now just to fill that in and create your personalized affirmation. Okay, hopefully you've all completed your lovely affirmation. Have a little read of it, say it out loud. Just to share with you, whilst I was doing this, I decided to have a little go myself whilst reading it out to you, and I'm happy to share. My affirmation that I had was, I am understanding, I have lovely friends, and I can achieve my dreams, which just came from all of the bits that I noted there. Hopefully you had a really lovely one too. What I recommend is that you write your affirmation, maybe scribble like mine as you're journaling. If you've got some nice paper, or maybe you want to type it on a computer and print it off. Maybe you want to put it on your phone as a screensaver. Keep it somewhere close, pin it to the fridge, have it somewhere that you're going to see every day throughout this full moon. It's full moon in Aries, which is a really fiery sign. It's a really motivated and driven sign, but it's really important to use this strong energy to pause. Use it to direct in things that you've done, not things that you want to do. Use it to take a step back and look back instead of all the goals that you've achieved, all the things that you've done, all the amazing people you've met. I feel that this moon, if you don't take a pause and you try and continue, we've talked about before how, full moon can make you a bit dreamy. It can make your brain be a bit watery. This is a sign of fire. I think this is where a lot of agitation can come. Sometimes for some people, maybe aggression or anger, frustration, all of these words, unfortunately, sorry, Dee, they do team up with Aries energy. I want us to just use it to reflect, direct it in the right way, and see how amazing we are and see what we've done. And hopefully this will put us in the right stead for the next part of the cycle. Like we've always said, don't fight it. This isn't a time, which Aries will find hard, is not a time for pushing forward and doing all your lists and carrying on. This is a time for stopping. It's a time for reflecting and seeing what you're grateful for. So direct your energy at that and use your aromas and crystals the best you can to guide you. I hope that our journaling today has given you some pause for thought. Dee's going to now take you through our lovely full moon in Aries sheet with some other ideas for this moon's energy. And I hope you enjoyed all that journaling.
Tracey, that was lovely. And don't worry, I'm not offended. I totally agree with everything you said. As a fire sign, as an Aries, I feel like I'm constantly thinking, what next? What next? You know, what should I be doing next? What should I be achieving next? What's on my to-do list still? Yeah. And it is so important to take a step back, reflect, acknowledge all the things you've done already, to remind yourself how far you've come, because, you know, that's super important. I was taking notes as you were doing that. I was doing the little exercise. We often do that, don't we?
Yeah, it's good to do it.
While the other one is talking, I was taking my notes in my new journal, which I'm absolutely in love with. And each page has a quote from a prominent woman, female figure. And the one that was on the page that I started on was just so apt that I thought I'll have to read it out. Martha Washington, so First Lady of the United States, George Washington's wife. I have learned from experience that the greater part of our happiness and misery depends on our dispositions and not upon our circumstances, which I thought was so apt, because all of these exercises are obviously to help you and your mindset, right? To make you realize you are doing well, you are achieving, you are lucky. You know, that's what all of these gratitude exercises are for. It's your mindset, not your circumstances that can.
It really is. It is. Yeah.
I'm also going to share my 3 affirmations as well.
Ooh.
So I am caring and cared for. I have all the characteristics and support for success. I can achieve all that I want to achieve.
Oh, that's lovely, Dee. That's very true as well. Yeah. And we got quite similar, didn't we? Very similar words. So, yeah, that's really lovely. Are you going to print it off and put it somewhere?
I've already got it on a post-it on my computer screen. So
that's how Aries Dee is. Super organised. Already done it.
Already done. Been there. Done that. So I'm going to add a few other points that you might want to also journal around or take note of for this full moon period. So I'm going to start with questions to ask yourself. These are 3 questions. If you know anything about Aries or fire signs, you will understand why these questions are coming up. Am I being too stubborn? Question 2, am I being too competitive? I'm strange Aries in that I'm not competitive with other people, but I am really competitive with myself. And sometimes that's not healthy. That's why these activities of looking back and reflecting on all that you've achieved are really good. It's a reminder that you don't have to be go, go, go all the time, because you've actually come quite far. So maybe now is a good time to relax, reflect, point your energy in the right direction, make sure you're going down the right path consciously and not just, you know.
Because where does it end as well? You will always strive to do better if you're in the disposition of a fire sign. You will always want to achieve more. And so there's nothing wrong with that. That's life, isn't it? You always want to drive to do more, but you have to stop and rest.
Yeah, I have days where I finish my to-do list for the day, so I look at the next day's to-do list to see if there's anything I could do.
To get a head start.
And that's not a bad trait. It's just you can't do that all the time. You can't be like that all the time.
No, you need a rest.
And question number 3, am I being sensitive enough? Because sometimes that drive and ambition can lead you to act in a way that might be a little bit inconsiderate and insensitive towards others. Or yourself. Again, you know, are you being kind enough to yourself? Are you being caring enough to yourself as well as those around you? And so those are really good questions to be asking yourself right now. Again, as an Aries, I'm asking myself all these questions constantly because this is the energy that I have to just live with. Welcome to my world.
Oh, it's a great energy, Dee, though. I had a lady come in my shop and we were talking signs, and her words were, unfortunately, I'm an Aries and it's the war sign. And she said it in such a negative way. And I was like, no, it's a really lovely sign. It is courageous and it is bold and it is driven, and you motivate others and you move others forward with yourself. Like, you're not a selfish sign. You do for others as much as you do for yourself. And it has, like, we've listed the light side of Aries and the dark side. And as long as you have that balance, as with all of the energies, there's nothing wrong with Aries. You're the first one of the signs as well. Your house, sign 1, you're the leaders of the path.
I've always been super proud of being an Aries. I love being an Aries.
Yeah.
But it is a very passionate sign and very high energy and driven. And again, you just have to make sure that you're directing that in the right way and being careful and considerate of yourself and others around you.
Yeah.
So as long as you're doing that, then it's a great sign. Affected organs. So this is for our end of year full MOT, isn't it? Our full body MOT.
Oh.
By the end of all of these recordings, people would have taken note and taken care of every part of their body. So this one is head, mouth, penis, which, you may or may not be able to skip that one depending on whether you have one, and blood. If there's anything with regards to those ones that I've listed that you have any concerns about, any aches and pains relating to them, now's the time to sort of spend some time scanning and seeing whether you need to take action, go see a doctor, go for a massage, whatever it might be. We've gone through our aromas and crystals, but again, it's jasmine, black pepper, frankincense, pine, petitgrain. Very grounding, bass notey ones there, apart from jasmine, which is much lighter and florally. But that is because the fire sign needs a little bit of grounding at times.
Bit of clarity as well, right? Yeah.
The crystals, again, very fiery, carnelian, sunstone, garnet. The element, as we discussed already, is the fire sign. So fire signs are great because they're enthusiastic, creative, courageous, spontaneous, and self-sufficient. You just have to make sure that that energy is directed in a healthy way. The tarot, if you're a tarot person, the suit associated with fire signs is wands. So if you're a card reader, are you getting a lot of tarot, the wands coming up in your readings at this point in time? Or alternatively, are you not getting any? Do you need more of this at this point in time? The affirmations, we've given a suggested affirmation. So if you really struggled with Tracey's exercise, take a bit more time. Here we've got a suggestion in the meantime, if you need one. I am a warrior and I make things happen.
I love that. That's so Aries.
That is basically Aries in a nutshell, is that attitude.
Yeah.
Numerology is a number 9. So basically, if you see the number 9 popping up anywhere, take a note of it, see if it means anything, if it's trying to tell you anything, if you're reading anything into it. The number 9 stands for compassionate, confident, independent, humanitarian, adventurous, can be impulsive. So we've said already spontaneous, and there are good sides to that. And obviously there can be annoying sides to someone being impulsive. Just make sure you're being aware of people's feelings around you.
And balanced, hey? Are you seeing any numbers, Dee? We've discussed this before. Have you found any numbers popping up? I've been looking for them, but...
I think that because I'm dyslexic, that's not something that I notice very easily.
No.
I wonder if that's it. I honestly don't register numbers even when I'm trying to pay attention to them. So...
No.
But for a lot of people, obviously, we've talked about this. People have lucky numbers. People have angel numbers that they believe in and so forth. So if this is your thing and if you're interested in it, then check out and see if number 9 pops up for you anywhere. So those are my points that I wanted to raise for you. We're going to wrap up now, but do take some time to sit with what we've been doing, reflect on what you've written down, expand on it if you want to. Tweak your affirmations so that they just sing to you. And like Tracey said, write them out nicely or put them on your computer or whatever you have to do in your planner, in your diary that makes you see it and look at it and reflect on them regularly in this period.
Yeah. Happy full moon, everyone. Enjoy. We have got a podcast all on the full moon as well for you to check out. Hope you enjoy your full moon in Aries, and these tips and bits and pieces will guide you through. Thanks, Dee. I've enjoyed our full moon circle.
Well, thank you everyone for listening, and thank you, Tracey, for doing that with us.
And you're welcome.
See you next new moon.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
If you enjoyed that and you want more from us, why don't you head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/WeKnewTheMoon. and check out some bonus content.
Also, if you want to stay up to date, you can follow us on our Facebook page at we.new.the.moon. If you could leave us a review on our Facebook page, that would mean a lot.
Our Instagram handle is the same as our Facebook, at we.new.the.moon. We're on Twitter at WeKnewTheMoon1, and we are also on Pinterest. Just search for We Knew the Moon.
Finally, if you want lots more fun, moon info and all things spiritual, plus our lovely shop, please visit our website, weknewthemoon.co.uk.